Well, folks, every time I think the leaks are done, another day comes and more leaks are coming in. We have accessory leaks, of course, which are not quite as exciting, but how about some retail listings for Nintendo Switch 2? How about an updated, supposedly accurate model that gives us more information on Nintendo Switch 2's screen size than we originally thought, potentially here, of course. We're going to call that part a rumor. We have another leak from the factory for Nintendo Switch 2. This time we actually see the tablet turned on at the factory. That is really exciting. We have some other listings that confirm a feature that was previously rumored and some pricing around that coming from GameStop's back end and so much more. Things are just going absolutely wild. And meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Nintendo dropped a brand new trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles X, which that's already exciting, and Pioro was correct again. He said it was happening this week, and it did. So that's cool. Nice 3-minute, 33-second trailer. But they also announced the Game Boy Lego thing coming. There's apparently like a model Game Boy you can make out of Lego that's coming today as well. So we had some real Nintendo news from Nintendo that is exciting on its own, but it's kind of taking a back seat to all these rumors and leaks because, look, we all know right now Switch 2 is what most of us are actually interested in. Sorry, Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. I'm sure some people are picking you up next week. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into this stuff. But first, I want to remind you guys that we are on the road to 140,000 subscribers. So if you're enjoying all this content and want to stay as up to date on everything Nintendo, go ahead and subscribe right here. And the first thing we're going to get to comes from this guy called OnLeaks. He's been very accurate, and he works with this website called 91 Mobiles. I just want to know, like, he's been very, very accurate. He's been at this for a decade plus, doing lots of different leaks across the tech industry and making models of those leaks before they're actually revealed. And these models that he makes are almost always correct. So I just want to note that because we learned one new thing here, and it's about the screen size. So as we go over here to 91 Mobiles, so the exclusive Nintendo Switch 2 design revealed via renders, bigger screen, bigger controllers. Switch 2 renders are revealed the design of the upcoming console. The new handheld is tipped to be larger than the current generation of Switch consoles. It is expected to feature an 8.4 inch, not an 8 inch. We've been working on that 8 inch assumption for a while, but an 8.4 inch display as compared to the 7 inch panel on the Switch OLED. Very interesting. So this is according, as I said, to OnLeaks. The Switch 2 console will be a lot bigger than the current offerings, namely the Switch OLED and the standard Switch. The new console is expected to feature an 8.4 inch panel. However, it wasn't mentioned which panel will be used. The author's opinion is that it's OLED. My opinion is that no, it's probably LCD. That being said, the table below should give you an idea of the new console stacks up. So you see the dimensions of the Joy-Cons. You can get these dimensions from shipping data. Switch OLED, Nintendo Switch, and then there's your screen size: 8.4 compared to 7 compared to 6.2, and then direct Joy-Con comparisons. So these are like the high resolution renders that OnLeaks made. And again, you can see it's watermarked and all that. I think a lot of people are going to start doing that because images keep getting stolen without credit. People got to stop doing that. Here's the back of the system. You can kind of faintly see that U-shaped kickstand right here. Yeah, I mean, these are just renders. Obviously, we've seen a lot of similar things like this, so we don't need to spend a lot of time on it. But again, 8.4 inch screen is really what we're focusing on here from that reliable insider in the tech industry. So I guess we'll see what happens. But what if I were to tell you, we actually have an image to look at that, well, let's just say this is from the factory, and everything about it looks fairly legit. I did some comparisons to current systems just to make sure that this isn't like a Switch version 1 or version 2 or even an OLED. I wanted to do some checking. This definitely looks like this is a unique Nintendo Switch model because this comes from the factory, and this is really exciting. The internet's blowing up with this one right now. And it comes from a user over on Family Boards who hasn't said anything since just dropping the image. So we'll put a link to the original source, but it's over on Imager. And what's very interesting here is this is testing software. As you're seeing on screen, with the screen turned on, that is testing software. So that is testing. You can see the system unit, the board function, yada, yada. This is standard testing software that does exist on factory floors. Very similar to what they were using for things like Nintendo Switch at the factories. This person is clearly holding the cartridge flap up. You can see, some people debated over this white here. I think that's either a protective film or there's a glossy finish and it's a reflection or a whole bunch of stuff because we definitely have some glossiness on the front. We also see what looks like some matte black Joy-Cons. That is not the standard color of the current Nintendo Switch. That is the gray color, so it does look a little darker than that, like the matte black that we've maybe heard from next handheld that it would be. And we don't see the joystick, so we can't see the splash of color that we expect to see there based on the rumors and leaks. I did some measuring here and stuff. Like, this is a thicker bezel here on the right than exists on the current Switch 1 or the version 2 or, you know, the Switch OLED. That is a thicker side, which would make sense because they do have a deeper indentation onto the side rail. But again, this appears to be legit. I do like the little text on here. Someone at Nintendo's reading this. I'm not the original source of this image. Someone obviously doesn't want to get in trouble from Nintendo, but yeah, I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Probably a leak out of China or something out of one of the factories. Again, can't confirm 100% for sure that that is real, but it is something that I think is worth looking at. We even have a slightly higher quality version photo here posted by Pori Leaks. Again, you can just read the text a bit better and stuff. Look, it's a Nintendo Switch 2 probably. Nothing super exciting in the photo. It doesn't really give us any new information other than, hey, look, a screen is turned on. Like, okay, you know, is what it is. But we do have some interesting actual leaks here. This time posted over my Legacy, saying a video game manager from FNAK just sent me these screens. The products have been added to the internal database for pre-referencing several console models and one first Switch 2 game by Take-Two. So there is some sort of game coming from Take-Two. That is very interesting. I'm not totally surprised. Well, what game could it be from Take-Two? And then we're seeing here that they got like what, 5, based on the numbers here, 5 different models of the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not really sure, obviously, if that's final or anything. And I don't suspect there's gonna be 5 different models, but who knows? There's things are all over the place. In fact, things are so all over the place. We actually have I mentioned like there's accessory leaks as well. You can actually buy this right now. Here you go, Nintendo Switch 2 temporary glass. You can buy a screen protector right now. Literally right now, you can buy a screen protector for a device that you can't have in your hands for at least 2 months, probably 5. Pretty crazy. The leaks just keep coming though, because we're not done. We actually have our most interesting leaks to date when it comes to a feature for Nintendo Switch 2 that we expect but haven't seen direct evidence of, and that is this idea that Nintendo Switch 2 supports micro SD express cards. These are a new standard that can run at a bare minimum of 800 megabytes per second, transfer speeds up to potentially, they think they can get it up to 1200. That's really, really fast compared to like normal micro SD cards. It can really help with load times and really help match much closer to what the internal storage speeds are going to be. But right now, publicly, you can only buy like 128 and 256 gigabyte ones because there just isn't any popular consumer device that actually supports the micro SD Express standard. Well, Switch 2 is going to be probably supporting it. That's at least according to this leak here, coming from the back end of GameStop. That's right. This is the back end of GameStop. If you guys have ever worked with the GameStop, you recognize the system here in this lookup method. This is definitely real. The back end of what GameStop's computers look like. Someone typed in Switch 2 and look at the stuff that popped up. We have obviously standard micro SD cards at 256. We got the Aussie listing there, plus obviously a local listing here of the Switch 2 Express micro SD card at $50 for 256 gigs. The Switch 2 Express micro SD card, $512 for $85.99. Also a Joy-Con charging grip. No surprise that Nintendo is probably going to sell that separately at $19 odd. Then you see some carrying cases and all that. None of that is necessarily relevant to Switch 2 until we get to the next image. Oh, baby. We aren't done with the listings. So here we see a Switch 2 carrying case for $20. No surprise, probably a pretty basic case. But then Switch 2 Deluxe carrying case for $30. Curious what that has. Maybe it just includes game storage or something like that. But how about the Deluxe? Again, there's another Deluxe one, but this is where it gets exciting. The Nintendo Switch 2 Express micro SD card, 1 terabyte for $150. The Switch 2 Express micro SD card, $512 for $85. Then you see the Switch 2 Express micro SD card again for 1 terabyte. What's really crazy about the $512 and the 1 terabyte is they don't exist today. You can't buy them. These aren't products that you could buy right now. These are clearly products that are launching alongside the Nintendo Switch 2 because it's really going to be the first mass consumer device to support micro SD card express. And again, I can't stress how amazing micro SD card express is, how much of a difference it's going to make for the Nintendo Switch 2. And guys, look, I could go on and on and on. As I'm talking, there's probably even more leaks going on. This thing is just getting insane. Well, the biggest thing we all want to know is, when is this thing going to be revealed? January, guys. It's happening. It's going to happen sooner than later. I have a smidge of speculation for you guys on this because, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about insiders and all that. There's one particular insider that's doing something I find really interesting, and that's Nate the Hate. He's been accurate with a lot of things in the past, and so I want to go over to something that he's been talking about and might hold some relevancy if he happens to know when the date is. So he talks about his upcoming podcast episode, the Nate the Hate podcast. He says, our first episode of 2025 will be recorded in the coming days and be made available for listening later this week. The debut episode of 2025 shall be Xbox 2025 predictions, which matters because Xbox just announced an Xbox Direct for the 23rd. Anyways, he said, in which we discuss what is planned for Xbox brand in the coming year. All right, cool. What does that have to do with anything? He says, you know, the last two Xbox Developer Directs had 5 games. Do you think there will be any hidden surprises like in previous years? He goes, yes. Will you say something if we can expect more Xbox games on PS5 in the first half of the year? Yes. Why Xbox, though? Their cards in terms of game releases are already on the table. Nintendo and Sony, on the other hand, have a lot more interesting because we don't know anything. Nintendo and Sony episodes will follow. Oh, man. Seems like rumors suggest later this week for Xenoblade. We got that. Should we expect Microsoft games on Switch 2 already this year? Tune in and find out. Oblivion Remastered is going to be a topic. No Switch 2. It'll come up, but a Nintendo episode will follow very soon after. I want to note this very soon after note from him because he said something else. If you go over here and you look at his replies, you're going to find something else he noted that we need to be very conscientious of. All right. So as we scroll down here, it's right here. It says, I'm back. Speculation to Switch 2 reveal is this week, but your 2025 Nintendo video won't be released for a bit. Remember, he said it's happening very soon after the Xbox One. Is it possible it gets revealed before your 2025 episode? I have every intention of having the Nintendo episode out before the reveal takes place. Now remember, he said he was going to be revealing that episode or having that episode come very soon after the Xbox One, the Nintendo episode, and he intends to have it out before the Switch 2 is revealed. So kind of pay attention. If he rushes in, because the Xbox episode drops like today or this weekend, if the Nintendo episode drops early next week, like Monday or Tuesday, does that mean he expects it being revealed next week? Does it mean he expects it being revealed the following week if he gets it out by the end of the week? I think it's something to pay attention to because Nate the Hate does have inside sources. So pay a little bit of attention. That's obviously some speculation there. Nate the Hate's not even saying he knows when it's going to be revealed, but he's intending to have the episode out before it's revealed. And as such, he said very soon after the Xbox One. So we'll see what very soon means for Nate the Hate. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Ruppeljans from Nintendo Prime, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode, or maybe live tonight. Also, I think I'm joining before my live stream tonight for about an hour. I'm going to be joining Andres Restart on his channel, doing a little debate on the Nintendo Switch 2 launch game and what that might be or might not be. Should be a fun one. Bye, everyone.